And I have a guest commentator with me for the rest of the program who's going to give us his personal take on the news and issues of the day. And he's the current affairs analyst and professor of communications at Baze University in Abuja, Professor Abiodun Adeniyi. Great to see you, Prof.
Thank you. Good to see you, Charles. Been a while.
Yeah, it's been it's been a few days, but
it's fine.
Yeah, good to see you, though. We started the program by looking at the president's speech today at the retreat.
Yeah.
Powerful stuff.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
We had the former chairman of the board of directors of NESG, who obviously represents the private sector, and he was very impressed with it. And I wonder how it rubbed you up, the right way or the wrong way?
Yeah, I think it's not doing badly at the level of delivery, And first, maybe we should look at the aesthetics of it, Very much.
Well, it has to be the aesthetics, isn't it? Because a lot of people would say, well, he hasn't actually delivered, but we're still waiting to see. But the optics looked good.
Yeah,
today.
the optics looks good, and of course, without really, aside from the content, the message is passing across. He also has a way of delivering messages. He uses his language, his body as well, when we're talking about messaging, really, we put in quite a number of things, and not just the content, but of course, how you deliver your body language.
Because you are a communications professor.
You. How assured you are.
So you can tell us a bit about that.
So if you're not sure of yourself, if you're not sure in your delivery, how do you want your listeners, your audience, to believe what you're saying? But I think President Tinubu is doing well at the level of using those two mechanisms, his body, and of course the message is actually delivering. But again, it's going to come back. We're going to come back to what we've been saying all along, that yes, the messages are clear. The words are also, they look very magisterial. And of course, we expect his audience, the ministers that is, and all other officials at the commanding height of the agencies, to respond to the message the president is delivering. Sometimes some of these things just end, with the pronouncement of officials. And of course, when it comes to delivery, when it comes to implementation, some kind of lethargy at the level of politics becomes a hindrance, and you see some of them will just take it maybe as they just probably play lip service to it. Now, we want to see the president actually going ahead through the lady in charge of policy implementation and doing the actual monitoring. And if we cannot see,
that's very important.
If we cannot see actual performance, of course, we need a demonstration of some of the things that the president said he was going to do, so that we can take him seriously. But in terms of delivery, the message is clear, and of course, we expect everyone that he was talking to, to live up to expectation.
He certainly sounded like he was taking charge, and he came across that way.
Yeah,
but
that's right.
I wonder if you, because some people have suggested that they're feeling sorry for the young lady, Hadiza Bala Usman, who has to contend with some very powerful people in that cabinet who wear their egos on their sleeves and who might be turned off by any attempt to closely monitor them.
No, but that's where professionalism will come in.
And that's where the president also comes in. He's got to back her up.
She has an assignment, her task is clear, and she shouldn't be looking at faces before she delivers. And she has a responsibility, not just to the president, but for the nation at large, So the onus is on her, to be distinguished, to be outstanding in the charge that she has been given. So if she begins to look at faces, then she will have herself to blame at the end of the day when people begin to call her out, and do not forget that the civil society is very active, the press is also watching, and I don't think that she wouldn't want to leave a legacy, as somebody who is given that very important charge in the interest of increasing performance, increasing the efficiency, and in the interest of service delivery, against the background of continuous complaint on the poverty of execution, the poverty of implementation, as having been the bane of progress and development in this country.
Yeah, and okay, let's move away from the president's speech, although the next topic is still connected to him because he's the one who's going to institute the reforms that are being asked for. But I mean, we're talking there to Arms-Free Janeku, who is a program lead at the Center for Democracy and Development, very well-respected think tank and civil society group. they do all the assessments of the elections, as you know, and having done the assessment of election and where democracy is heading and all the rest of it, they're saying that they wouldn't hold Nigeria up as a beacon of democracy in Africa. I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'm not also going to hold Nigeria up as a beacon of democracy, which means that I'm agreeing with them, because even if you look at the books, Nigeria is not necessarily rated, as a beacon, from statistics, from data. Kenya is supposedly ahead of us. I think Botswana to some extent, and I think Senegal to some extent, using some parameters. But that does not mean that we're not trying. America, for instance, is the bastion of democracy, but it's not the first, not the best in the world. You'll find the best in the world in the Scandinavian countries, the Nordic Scandinavian countries. So different parameters come in. But in our own case, we know we're trying. We've not done badly 24 years after, and we know we still have some challenges of integrity, challenges of transparency, challenges of inclusivity, and of course maybe challenges in other institutions that are integral, to the functioning of a smooth democracy. We may say we have challenges with the judiciary because of allegations of corruption here and there, allegations that we haven't really investigated, but they are out there, and what is more, what about security agencies as well? How well are they doing? Now we're talking about all the stakeholders involved in the electioneering process, and these are institutions that are also problematic. So it falls within the larger bracket of the failure of institutions. I do believe that we can continue to strengthen them, realizing that democracy sometimes it's not just about we've said it severally, it's not a journey but a destination, and of course we are continuing the destination, which seems gratifying, but the quality of our movement has to be qualitative. It has to be improved as well. And how do we improve it? The integrity of the process, the credibility, and it doesn't only stop at the level of official public institutions. What about the private institutions? What about the political parties? Are they also participating well? Are they doing it properly? Are they taking decisions only because of further to the patron-sent, clientelistic relationship that they have with citizens? How well are they performing in those areas? So beyond the public institutions, we also have to look at the private concerns. They too, their activities, also have to be above board. Things will have to be speak and span in the way they screen candidates. And so at the end of the day, we will not just be relying on public institutions to help us. If you do your homework properly, maybe at the level of the caucuses or at the level of the party hierarchy, through the screening that they often tell us they do, when it gets to public institutions, the job will be easier. So we are talking about a holistic approach, to improving the quality of our democracy. But overall, I don't think we are done badly. Remember that in the pre-election period, there were signs as if doomsday was ahead of us. Even in the post-election, there were signs again that Nigeria was going to collapse, because of the election, only on account of the fallout of the election. But here we are, we are continuing no matter what's and all. We are pushing ahead, and we only hope that if we are painstaking, if we do not shirk our responsibilities, institutional responsibilities, stakeholder responsibilities, I think we can gradually continue on this path.
And of course, in terms of the recommendations from the Center for Democracy and Development for guarding democracy in Nigeria, they were talking about preserving the integrity of the justice system, increasing participation, and subjecting institutions like INEC to rigorous scrutiny.
Yeah, I agree with them absolutely, because these are critical institutions in the reflection of that are central to the reflection of a free, fair, and credible election. And judiciary has been identified as one of the key stakeholder in the process, given the character of a democracy where actors will often want to resort to the court for the conclusive or somewhat, for the continuous resolution of election dispute. Yes, that sector is very critical, but I do not think it also falls within the purview of the citizens. Some people have been given that charge, and professionals, no doubt, experienced, accomplished people, no doubt. First, they have a responsibility to themselves before and they also have a responsibility to the system. How well are they, exhibiting this? That's where professionalism or professional bodies will have to come in. And I think we are talking to ourselves. We are hearing ourselves. We know what the limitations are. What is it that is stopping us, from being speak and span?
Well, that's a big question, and it certainly won't be answered tonight. But I want to thank you very much indeed, Professor Abiodun. Adeniyi is, of course, the current affairs analyst and professor of communications at Baze University in Abuja. Thank you very much indeed.
Thanks, Charles.
That's it for this edition of Arise Prime Time. Join us again tomorrow from me and the entire team here in Abuja. Bye-bye, and thank you for watching.